Yo, we're flipping running it back because I just have way more stuff to talk about. This will probably be titled something like the craziest trip of my life part 2. Because I had so much to talk about with VidCon, but I just like didn't talk about it. I also didn't I do a whole Amsterdam trip and not talk about it? I don't know, tomato tomato. The question in hand is currently VidCon. One of the things we did on the last day that was really cool that I didn't think would be that cool, that was honestly, I don't know, debatably, I'm not sure if I like going to Disneyland. I've decided. I'm not entirely sure. Sometimes it's cool. It's like, I'll get into it. But over the past 3 years, I've gone to VidCon 3 different times. And each time, I've been able to go to Disneyland, but I haven't, because I just don't really like it. It's just like a lot of walking around at a, like, what do you call it? A theme park. That's the word. It's just a lot of walking around at a theme park, and I just don't know, because it's like 90% walking around waiting in lines, which can be cool and fun, like if you're hanging out with friends, but I just don't know if I like doing that all day. And then 10% on the rides, which on the rides, it's almost always very cool. Except for a couple. There was like one Star Wars ride that I was like, I didn't really get that. But all of the rides are just very cool. And so in my head, I'm not sure if I like designating an entire day for it. So that's why I haven't gone the past couple of years. But this year, I went because I would literally have just been sitting at my Airbnb alone. Because I stayed in an Airbnb with 10 people for this trip, and all of them went to Disney. So I was definitely not just gonna sit at home. But when you go on trips, or like even if you like don't seek out stuff like this, obviously you're gonna have a fun time. You're hanging out with friends. You're at a theme park. There's gonna be a lot of cool stuff. And one of my favorite things, or I think probably my favorite part of Disneyland, was the Star Wars rides, or just the Star Wars area in general. Not because I'm a crazy big Star Wars fan. Like, I've seen all the movies, and I'm a casual viewer of the stuff. My cousins, oh my gosh, don't get them started on Star Wars. But I really liked it because it was so well done, bro. You know, they've had, what, like 10 or 15 years, maybe longer. I don't know how long Disney's been around. But they've had so many years of practice and development of like, how do you build good rides, what constitutes a good ride, what constitutes good decoration. They've had so many years of that. The Star Wars, they kind of just flip off with it. And so you could just spend an entire day just looking around at the buildings because it's so cool. You know, that's just like part of it. You know, a lot of people go to Disneyland, not even just for the rides or the roller coasters. They go just to look at the place, which I guess I've never really fully internalized, because when I think of Disneyland, I think of like roller coasters and theme parks. But even in the Disneyland Resort, like most of the super intense and crazy rides are at California Adventures, you know? Sorry, if you haven't been to Disneyland before, maybe I should try to explain it. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. Do people know what Disneyland is? It's like a cool park. So we did that the last day. I did leave early though, because I like my sleep. This whole entire trip, I went to bed at a timely hour. I think I went to bed on average probably at 10:30 or 11. You know, even when I'm on a trip out late, I could have probably stayed up late. There was one night where I went to a party, which, oh my gosh, guys, like, I have never felt more like exclusive is the right word, maybe. It was just insane. No, I guess I wasn't in Hollywood, but I'm in California. Somebody's rented out a mansion for just this trip, for just this party. There's a bouncer at the door, a Lamborghini in the front yard, and they like have to... Dude, when we pull up, I don't even know if I was on the list because I'm not sure I RSVP'd. I was really debating whether or not I wanted to go to this party because I was like, I'm not sure if I'm a huge party guy, like... I don't really drink. Do I really care for that? I like just sitting around a campfire with 4 or 5 friends and just chatting for a couple hours. That's the kind of vibe I go for. Parties, like meeting new people, kind of maxed out on like all the new people I want to meet. It's like chill. So I had all this debate going in my head. But then I go to this party, and so I'm like, wait, did I even RSVP? But then freaking, I don't even know if I should say who is there. I probably shouldn't say who was there. But then somebody comes up who I'm not like super close with, but I know and I've like talked to at conventions and stuff like this. He sees me from behind the gate as we're walking up to the bounce, and he's like, "Oh yeah, they're good." And it just was like, what? That's a scene out of a movie, dude. Where am I? I'm in California going to a party? What? And then I don't know, everything just felt really weird and I don't know, bro. I don't know. But the party itself was actually really cool because I think what helped a lot was I knew a really good percentage of the people. I wouldn't go so far as to say I knew half the people there, but I knew a lot of flipping people that were there, and so that made it really easy for talking. You know, I did kind of get my campfire sitting around my sitting around a campfire chatting because there was a fireplace, and so we were like chatting around there. But there was like a tennis court in the backyard and all this stuff. So I got my drinks too. You know, I did drink while I was at the party. I know. I kind of crumbled. I drank some water. I really tried to turn that into a joke. That was just the lamest jokes of all time. I definitely could have done that better. I apologize. Maybe next time I make an alcoholic joke. I just don't drink alcohol. But how did I get on this topic? Yes. Okay, totally lost my mind. Wait, let me try again. How did I get on this topic? Sleep, yes. I left the party early. I actually went to the party late because I was signing posters for the new Naked and Afraid series that's coming up. That was really, oh my gosh, I have so much stuff to talk about. I was, dude, and I feel like I gotta chillax, bro. Why do these commentaries rile me up? Anyways, I'm getting self-conscious now. I left the party early because I wanted to get good sleep. Every single night, I kind of, like, dipped out of events and stuff early to get my, you know, get my 8 hours of sleep. I heard a lot of people stayed up till, like, 4, 5 in the morning, just like chatting, and then throughout the day people are like, yeah, I'm cooked, bro. Not me. No, my energy levels were great. Well, they were great most of the time. I think I slept at a pizza place for like 2 minutes, but those 2 minutes were glorious, bro. Afterwards I was totally locked in. I think the latest I actually stayed up was the last night with Mr. Cube because I left Disneyland early. Because I don't want to like say till the fireworks. I left Disneyland early, and it was just me and Cube. We got dinner at Denny's, and just chatted for I don't even know how many hours. But I looked at my phone, I was like, oh my gosh, there's no way it's 11:40. It was 11:40, so I think that was probably the latest that I went to bed. But that was a really nice conversation. If you can have friends like that and get put in those situations where you talk about life and maybe things that you wouldn't normally talk about with other people. It's just like such good life moments, you know? I feel like humans are just such social creatures, and talking with people, having a good time, is the way to go. It definitely can be a bit much at some points. I feel like in general over the past year, I've been thinking conventions feel very samey, and I don't know. Sometimes I feel like maxed out on the amount of people that I want to meet. Because every convention, there's always a handful of people that I'm like, I don't know if I've met you, but I feel like I should know your name. And then there's another handful of people that come up to me and are like, oh, yo, what's up, Wreckrap? What's up, Parker? And I'm like, I think we met last year, but I'm not entirely sure. And then there's a lot of people that are also just like really good friends that I do know the names of and just like chat a lot. I don't really know where I was going with this. I did like the convention, and there was a couple of people that I hadn't ever met in real life before, and I finally got to meet them, which was really nice. People like Wenzo was one of them, another person I can't name, and then Ken as well. Because a lot of these people, like Ken is from Australia, Wenzo is from England, you know, so they're not out here super often. And even though I've like kind of known them for a couple of years, it's really cool to just like hang out with them. And speaking of Ken, shout out all the Ken viewers, bro. I was checking my comments section like yesterday, and he makes like daily videos, so I just got flooded with comments from Ken, so that was pretty cool. Oh, and I finally remember what my other point was when I was talking about, like, sometimes people can be too much. I think the first time this trip, I was like, whoa, I need a break from, like, signing things and being out on the convention floor. And I actually went behind the stage. Like, I used the behind the stage, or behind the curtain stuff, to escape from the crowds. And it was really nice. And then it was peaceful for a second. I kind of, like, sat on my chair, recouped for a little bit. I also did a lot of exploring behind stage, which was interesting because you don't often get the chance to do that. So I walked up and down the aisles, even past the stages where a ton of stuff was going on. Said hi to some of the workers. I remember looking around and seeing this like poster thing that I presume was left by the people who run these conventions, because they sort of have a system for doing them, and they probably do many different ones at many different convention halls and whatnot. And it was really interesting seeing like the businessy behind the scenes. It was like, okay, when you're setting up the curtains, this is the 4-step process that you use to set up the curtains, and how many other people like pay attention to that sort of thing. I was staring at it for so long that one of the security ladies was like, do you need something? I was like, nah, I'm just looking at your instruction manual. So that was cool. I walked up and down. It's super like peaceful and quiet behind there. And then when I was like ready, I just like head back out onto the convention floor, and then you're just like hanging out and chatting with people the entire time. Maybe my favorite part of the convention hall is we wandered the artist alley. I just love art, and there was just so much stuff there. You could have spent an entire day just looking at all of the different people's art. I mean, not that I buy anything. I don't know. I have a lot of friends that do buy trinkets and stuff. I'm just not one of those people. You know what I mean? I have been spending more like in general, I guess, or being okay with like, oh yeah, I can spend an extra couple of bucks to get something cool on a menu. But buying little trinkets and stuff, I don't know. I don't really do. I keep all the little trinkets and stuff that you guys give me, and I put it in my little mason jar. So that's cool. But that's also the end of the commentary video. I think I kind of hit all the points that I needed to. I don't think I'll be making a part 3 to this, but I will be making another commentary at some point. I don't know what I'll be yapping about, but I'll be yapping. I've been yapping too much. Anyway, okay. Bye, guys. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye.